real America's voice has gotten sadder and sadder over time. We thought OAN had collapsed as hard as everything else. There's going to be an ad on this fucker, isn't there? Ew. 3, 2, 1. Yikes! That's a snail in somebody's gut. What's wrong with you?
I want to go to Bill Mitchell. Bill Mitchell report. By the way, I just found.
Yeah. By the way, just when I thought somebody couldn't be as scary as me, I go to Bill Mitchell. Let's go to Bill Mitchell. By the way, I am wearing makeup. Nothing wrong with it. It's fine.
Today that Jack Posobiec got his start on Bill Mitchell's network. So, Bill, we have you to.
So these are close friends of yours.
Blame for that, but that's a topic for.
Yikes! Jesus Christ! It's like a vampire who made his entire living as a Columbo villain.
I digress. That's a topic for a different day. Bill, you've got your hand on the pulse of this. Give us your assessment.
Is that why his hands are out of sight?
Of Dershowitz versus Jack Posobiec's preemptive coup, and I also want to talk about.
Both of them? Please don't have this be about who got a massage at Jeffrey Epstein.
The support, not just from MAGA, but from elected officials of what you're seeing. Bill Mitchell.
Bill Mitchell of the Bill Mitchell Report. Bill Mitchell, have you said Bill Mitchell? Yeah, Bill Mitchell. Talk while I mute my mic and fart in my own living room.
Yeah, you know to understand the Democrat mind. It's different than the conservative, different than the Republican mind.
That's true. We actually believe in real governance, and we give a shit what happens to people, even if they don't vote our way. It's weird.
They don't think in terms of right and wrong.
No. And we need to start doing that. Think of things as right and wrong. Like the right is often wrong. Is that what you mean? That's not what you mean, is it? I don't know. This is new. I've never thought in terms like this before. It's very confusing. The whole thing it's a lot of work.
Legal and illegal.
Okay, we don't think of terms right and wrong, legal and illegal. We think of watery gray areas where, I don't know, is stabbing even a crime? That kind of stuff. If you're stabbing for a job, workers of the world unite. What?
They think in terms of works or doesn't work.
It either works or it doesn't work. Well, I'm going to go with most crimes, most of them, don't work for me, Bill. Rape, murder, violence, drug dealing, trespassing, wholesale slaughter of civilians, opening fire in a grocery store with an AR-15. Those don't work for me. Just going to say. So in my list of things that I put in my work, don't work category, a lot of those fall in the don't work thing. Now, personally, for example, in the drug use category, doesn't work for me. Works for some people. So I want it, safe, rare, and legal kind of. You know what I mean? Not as a crutch, but if people want to use it and it won't harm them, that's their choice. There's a level of personal responsibility. If you damage your brain, maybe you need drug insurance. If you're going to try the bigger stuff, I don't know. We'll work it out. But it doesn't work for me. Doesn't mean it doesn't work for everybody.
Works or doesn't work. So
works or doesn't work. Got that. Okay. Yep. 2 categories. No legal, illegal, no good or bad. Just works or it doesn't work.
They're looking at this entire case is if we go after him on this, of course he hasn't broken any laws, but if we go after him.
Well, no one is saying, of course he hasn't broken any laws. I guarantee that thought isn't going through the minds of the people on the grand jury, the people in the DOJ, and definitely not in the minds of your average Democrat who's listening to this story. None of us, just saying. And you could even say that this would be confirmation bias or just us sniffing our own farts. So you can even insist that that's how. But I guarantee none of us are going, of course he hasn't broken any laws, but let's get him. Like, that's not how the thinking works.
Because as it say, you can indict a ham sandwich.
You cannot indict a ham sandwich in the United States. You can't. That's a cute phrase. Legally not true. You cannot indict a ham sandwich, mainly because you might find the murder weapon. It might have the ham sandwich's fingerprints all over it. But showing intent to a judge or a grand jury, that's where you're always going to run aground. That's the hard part. Your Honor, my client could not have committed this murder. He doesn't even know what murder is. Why? It's a ham sandwich. He has no cognitive ability. Baloney. No ham.
Will it work for us or will it not work for us? You know, in World War II, the Japanese were losing.
World War II, the Japanese were losing. So I'm glad we're making parallels with.
So they created a thing called the kamikazes, where they're.
I see. So this is a kamikaze raid. So we just crashed FBI agents in. I mean, metaphorically speaking, obviously they knocked and showed a search warrant and didn't break anything.
Pilots would dive into our ships with their planes loaded down with explosives. And my old saying was,
well, most of the time, no. Most of the times it was after they ran out of ammo and where all they had left really was wings full of fuel and the plane itself, then they would crash. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. You send somebody with guns on their plane and a couple of bombs they can drop, and then you just crash it and hit one thing. It's not, I don't know. He's on a roll. Fuck it.
That being a kamikaze is bad for the ship, but it's worse for the pilot.
Bad for the ship. Worse. Well, not if you actually think that the emperor is a representative of God and that you're going to go to some sort of paradise afterwards. That was effectively how they made that happen. Or you believe that if you could stop the U.S., you could save your country, I guess.
And I think the way the Democrats are looking at this right now is like, yeah, we could indict him. Yeah, we have the power to indict him. But would it be worse for us? Would this be a kamikaze run where it might wound Trump, but it would devastate and kill us? And that's what I think.
So they decided it won't. Hence the search warrant.
I think they're probably calculating right now and they're saying, you know, I don't think that Biden's going to run again in 2024. I think they'll bring in someone like Newsom. I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of the conversation at all.
That Biden may resign in his second half of his term.
Nope. Nope. Not going to happen.
And pardon his son as his parting act.
For what? Tax issues?
And then Kamala could bring in somebody as VP. Oh, look, we're fresh and new. And then run that team in 2024.
So he's going to resign. Kamala Harris is going to bring on Gavin Newsom. They're going to run as a team. And then she's going to... Or Trump committed a crime and he's a private citizen now, and you don't get a magic get out of jail free card forever.
So I think that the risk and the downside to them
is they're going to lose the war room pandemic base vote
of indicting Trump would be greater than the benefit they would receive also,
which would be that the country functions as a federal republic based on the rule of law, and that all laws apply equally to every citizen, and just because you've been president doesn't make you fucking magic.
As far as the MAGA base is concerned, we saw a dramatic shift after this raid. Before this raid, Republicans had a 9-point advantage in enthusiasm to vote. After this raid, that became a 15-point advantage enthusiasm to vote. That was a 6-point surge. So,
excuse me, of your base voters who should already be excited to vote and aren't voting for Trump anyways, they're voting for congressional and Senate seats in this particular situation, a couple of governors and a couple other races. That's not a good thing. And by the way, the idea that they have that it's up, their enthusiasm went up, but it's not a lead over Democrats' enthusiasm unless you're using like January's numbers, maybe.
So the base is behind Trump. And one last thing I want to say.
Yeah, Trump's not running, and they're welcome to stand behind him. I just wouldn't get too far downwind. I'm just saying. If you're going to be behind Trump, don't blame me when your eyes start watering. All right.
When MSNBC and these groups come out there and they say, all of these top Republicans are leaving Trump, so we call that concern trolling. What is concern trolling? That's when your enemy starts giving you advice on how to save yourself. Now
Oh, you mean like what you were just doing about them not, Democrats not running Biden and Gavin Newsom coming in, and they're, what we're worried about, and do we think it's a kamikaze flight? Like, you mean that shit? Like giving a crap or thinking that that's part of the process in this at all?
We know that MSNBC wants MAGA to die in a fire, right?
No, I think they just want them to fade out as an absurd cul-de-sac in American political history so that people can get back to disagreeing honorably.
But they're giving us advice to save ourselves. Why would they do that?
They're not. They're just concerned about the genuine danger of that group. Unless he's talking about it, they might have been talking about earlier in the show how that Biden in this semi-fascist thing is like the basket of deplorables argument, where he's saying that conservatives versus the MAGA Republicans. That's a big part of this stuff. So hold on one second. I'm getting. I don't mind trolls, but it's people spamming is a problem.
They don't want us to save ourselves. They want us to destroy ourselves. So they're not hearing from these top leaders that they're abandoning Trump. The base is 1,000% behind Trump. That's
you can't be 1,000% of anything. Percent means per 100. Just saying. And technically speaking, they're 72%. What was the name? Like, hold on. Let's see. Trump versus DeSantis. Let's see. I want to see if their poll. Hold on. It's just a recent one. This is from Insider. Politico Morning Console poll. Here it is. August 10th. Okay. Most voted believes John. Where is it? I got to find I need to find a current, up-to-date poll. 2 days ago, DeSantis fares better than Trump. And I don't. This is a month ago. Let's see. New York Times. Where's the actual? Here it is. Okay, so they're 1,000%. 1,000% behind Trump. Well, he's got 49% of the respondents, Republicans who are going to vote. DeSantis gets 25. Of course, if Trump doesn't win, DeSantis gets the other half. That puts his number up at well over, or at 49 or 50%, which everybody else will fall behind him, especially if he picks up, say he runs with Nikki Haley. He's got 6. He's never going to. The funny thing that Nikki Haley and Mike Pence are tied is hilarious. Trump gets the men, he's losing the women. DeSantis, similar numbers. That's weird. His is split. Some of them just leave. The women leave DeSantis and go someplace else. That's fun. Education. Trump gets huge numbers with the no bachelor's degree. Greatest threat to usurp Mr. Trump within the party is Ron DeSantis of Florida, who has the second choice of 25%. So, not so much 1,000%. 49% currently.
That's what I'm hearing
amongst likely voters.
Me too.
Bill, the President of the United States, or the head of the regime, goes to Rockville, Maryland, to a high school that he came and filled the gym.
Right.
And he calls MAGA a fascist movement.
He said semi-fascist, and that the regular conservatives are not fascist necessarily. Made an important distinction. Very much like the basket of deplorables thing. I think it's fine.
Give us your perspective. How dangerous as language is that coming from?
Yes, how dangerous is language coming from a Marxist who wants Maoist policies that killed 50 million people, from a bunch of groomers who eat baby milkshakes.
From a guy that stole the 2020 election, sir.
How dangerous is that kind of language from a guy who stole the 2020 election and is a false king on the throne and must be taken out by other means than elections because they cannot be trusted, sir?
Yeah, well, he's talking to his base. He's trying to rile up his base, and his concern is that he's been losing his base. He's losing Hispanics. Democrats had a 50-point advantage with Hispanics in 2018. That's down to a tie now. He's losing the black voters.
50-point advantage. It's not a tie, no.
He's losing suburban women. So he's trying to scare everybody.
Also, by the way, Biden poll bump. We'll just make sure that he's on his numbers. Let's see. This is the most recent one. Biden approval rating jumps to its highest level in 2 months in Reuters Ipsos poll. Let's see. Biden's approval. Oh, this is the older one even. 8/10/2022. Biden's approval rating in the poll at the lowest point in March 36, below 50%. Biden successfully pushed for Congress to pass the CHIPS Act. Charles Schumer, Joe Manchin, blah, blah, blah. List the economy. Hold on. We'll jump back to the, I think there's even a newer one because this is like 8/6. Where's this? Okay, that's July 24th even. A lot of this is poll numbers bounce on State of the Union. There you go. 5 days ago. There you go. Gallup. This is the new Gallup. Here you go. He's tied with Trump for the highest Trump ever got right now. Biden's job rating rises to 44%, highest in a year. Boink. There we go. Should we put this up against Trump's, which never rose above 44? Remember, 45 never hit 45. It's easy to remember. Approval rating by political party. By the way, Biden has an 81% approval rating with Democrats. He's up 7 points with with independents, and Republicans are puttering around at 4%. 4 fucking percent. That's a lie. That is not indicative. I mean, you would have to be so fucking. I mean, maybe it's just people who will pick up the phone and answer it as Republicans now. 4%. If you want to talk about not giving somebody a fair shake, that's a great example of it, especially the number of Republican governors that are running around taking credit for infrastructure projects that their senators voted against.
And isolate us and make us seem like something strange and something odd. The problem.
Oh, you don't need any help from us. Little tiny man in a folded up flag in someone's patriotic closet.
But it's just like the juxtaposition of the Hunter Biden laptop.
There is no Hunter Biden laptop.
Versus what Trump's doing here.
There is no Hunter Biden laptop. There are actual boxes. There were 15 boxes of things taken in January and another 15 boxes plus taken this time. There are pictures of those boxes. There's pictures of those boxes leaving the White House. There's pictures of those boxes coming back. There are no pictures of the Hunter Biden laptop. None. In 2022, there is no Hunter Biden laptop. Feel free to @ me.
If they indict Trump over this ticky-tack stuff, that he's not guilty of anything.
This ticking tax stuff? I think the only Hunter Biden investigation that's going on is tax related. That's not what this is. Is that Max Headroom? Don't you dare.
And they leave Hunter Biden alone when he's got child porn and he's got crack cocaine and he's got all these things on his.
Yeah, that's the problem with Rudy Giuliani fucking with the chain of evidence. See? Yeah, if you're mad that Hunter Biden, if he was ever guilty of anything, he can't get charged with it now because Rudy Giuliani fucked up the chain of evidence. Not that the Hunter Biden laptop ever existed, but if it existed, the way Rudy Giuliani handled the evidence, you can't use it in court. First-year law student, get it tossed out. Files were added after it left McIsaac's care. Files had been added in the time past when it had been used by Hunter Biden, logged in by him, and it gotten there. Even McIsaac said so. It was all suspect. It's not going to work, buddy. You know what? The next time you try something like this, try not to let a fuck up like Rudy Giuliani handle the evidence. And by the way, if you have the murder weapon in a crime, actually turn over the murder weapon, not a copy of the murder weapon missing multiple parts. That, by the way, you added a silencer to later to try and prove that the silencer is evidence of the fruits of crime.
Laptop, this is a problem. And the reason why Joe Biden can no longer try to make us seem extreme is that he is so extreme himself that whatever he says about us, by comparison, he looks even more extreme. So,
yes, whatever he says about you, he looks even more extreme by trying to cap insulin at $35 a month and cap Medicare payments and pass an infrastructure bill and gun reform and have a 15% base tax for multi-billion-dollar corporations. And oh God.
No matter what they do at this point, they're just digging the ditch deeper.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's very astute of you. I don't know how you managed to work this back to. It's true. No matter Democrats can't do anything but keep digging themselves deeper into this hole of legislative achievements.
And I don't believe they have the ability to triangulate back towards the middle like Bill Clinton did.
Yes, like Bill Clinton did. Right about the time he was attacked by Republicans after he had because they were holding basically sexual blackmail over him.
The contract with America. I think all they're going to do is dig deeper and go further and further left. I think.
Yes, well, I mean, they have to dig all the way to China to get, Hunter Biden's $1 billion. It's the only way they can get there now. Flights are basically too expensive.
I think this is looking very good for us in the midterms.
Do you really? Because I don't think so.
Bill, how do people? What's your social media? And
how do you Bill Mitchell of the Bill Mitchell? How do you just do the plug? I'm sorry, I fell asleep during that. I was applying more base without any contour because I like the marzipan-like quality it gives my face.
How people get to the show, the Bill Mitchell Reports.
Great. Mostly we're live streaming on Getter right now.
Mostly we're live streaming on Getter. All right, I owe Flashpoint an apology. I thought Flashpoint was the ass end of the internet. Live streaming on Getter? That's a thing? Shit. Mostly we're live streaming on Getter.
Terrific platform, gettr.com.
Yeah, we know we not get her done. Get her done.
And we live stream there. Live streams all day, kind of runs on a loop.
Okay, so it's not live. It's on a loop. Never mind.
The new shows are at 8 p.m.
The new shows are at 8, but the live stream is the recorded shows that run on a loop all day. I'm sorry, I'm starting to smell almonds.
Follow me anywhere on social media, whether
yes, definitely.
Whether it be True Social or Getter or wherever, at Mitchell VII. That was my Twitter handle before they.
At Mitchell the 12th, or I mean the 7th.
They bounced me there, and also my website, yourvoice.news.
Yourvoice.news, which of course has my voice. That's the great thing about it.
Bill Mitchell.
By the way, I appreciate Bill Mitchell. For those of you who don't know, not to be confused. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Bill Mitchell is a huge fan of. Let me open this up. Of the movie Your Hunter from the Future, which is related to. There it is, Hunter from the Future. And it's a big deal. It's a great movie. It's very much overlooked. Your Hunter from the Future. So Your Voice is really it's where he interviews all the actor involved in that movie, and some of the aliens, and they do. He does it in different languages. He uses some of the original channel art. Le Chasseur du Futur. And then, of course, they had a big thing about the 35th anniversary that is not at all a ripoff of He-Man Masters of the Universe, for the record. And occasionally, there you go. And there's some shots from the actual movie. It looks good. Your voice. Your. I know what you're thinking. Wow, I love futuristic movies. I'm a big fan of sci-fi. By the way, this is the first known picture of the Trumps when they arrived in America. With their oh my God, mirrors. How did I let myself go out? My hair is a wreck. We want to know more about you, primitive man. Take out your penis and use it in this special tube. Wazza! That's one of the coolest scenes. I throw people in my loincloth. Are you okay? Yes, I cut myself shaving. I know what you're thinking. This loincloth should be longer. It's cold in here. Oh my God. She's passed out, and in the sexiest way possible. Your hairspray of the future. Brr. This is, all right, all kidding aside, this is fucking wicked art. Especially the weird alien grabbing this woman by the boob and apparently squirting milk out of there? Or is that, what is happening? That she's being fondled and then there's a lactation going on. And by the way, are those, is that pubage happening down there in the corner of this thing? Boy, I'm going to take back some of the things I said about your. It's the French version, so of course there's body hair involved. Why didn't I think of that? And all we get in the States is massive cleavage. I'm freezing with my hammer on this. How do we get down? Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't going to buy this from Roadshow Home Video, but it has previews of other hit movies. Now that's a bargain. All right. Anyways. And by the way, the actor from Your has really let himself go. Just saying. Also, Botox, more like no-tox.
Well, thank you very much for taking time away on Saturday to join us. Want to make sure everybody...
Yeah, thanks for taking time away from running loops of your show on Getter. How you ever broke free, we'll never know. Did you miss a segue? Yes, it was simply that this guy said Your, and I'm the kind of person who remembers that there is a movie called Your Hunter from the Future. That's the kind of brain I have. You just watched a live triggering of my I love the 70s, 80s, and 90s reflex. That's how that shit happens. Yeah. Get her done, Bill. Yeah. I'm easily sidetracked by 70s and 80s movies references. Wait, that was the... No, it's not the actor from that. I'm kidding. Let's see, who plays him? Okay, the writers. Reb Brown is the guy who plays him. By the way, little known fact about Your. How many people have watched, and I'll sign off on this. This is like one of the weirdest things. How many people watched Inglourious Bastards? And I have to wait for a second so that it comes through in the chat. I'm a big fan. Has anybody seen Inglourious Bastards? Yeah. Yes? Okay, excellent. Look at that. Okay. Love it. I think, Quentin Tarantino, I have a mixed issue with him sometimes. But I will say the first scene in that, the first, 15 minutes of that movie is the most tense, moment on film, the most suspenseful scene on film in the last 30 years. It's great. Okay, there you go. Inglourious Bastards. Now, if you'll recall in Inglourious Bastards, they sneak into the theater where they, spoiler alert, plant bombs to try and kill Hitler in the movie, posing as Italian filmmakers, right? And the guy that they were going to have do it, he speaks Italian, but they don't speak Italian, so they got to fake it, okay? And they pretend to be, right? Italian filmmakers. Remember that part of it? And one of the names of the Italian filmmakers is a guy named Antonio Margarete. And he keeps making him say it again. Antonio Margarete. Say it again. Come on. Antonio Margarete. Remember that? That his name was Antonio Margarete. Well, Antonio Margarete directed Your Hunter from the Future. Yes, both are the names of real Italian directors. He did a bunch of of movies. His last movie was Virtual Weapon in 1997, but he's been around forever. Like a lot of these, like kind of crazy. He did Mondo Inferno. He did a lot of like crazy 60s. He did the special effects for Duck You Sucker, which I can't believe I haven't seen Duck You Sucker now. Duck You Sucker. Duck You Sucker. Original title, Chiù la testa, in 1971. He did the effects for this. Sergio Leone did the actual directing on this. Duck You Sucker. Okay, that's that. Now I've got to go down a fucking hole with that one. You're shitting me. I shit you. You're shit you not. He did Your Hunter from the Future. He did that in 1983. 69, he did Schrie in der Nacht. Scream in the Night. Screaming in the night. Fighting for my life. I'd die for you. Yeah. Love Duck You Sucker. Okay, I'm going to do it. He's an actor as well. He was in Killer Fish as Anthony Dawson. But Antonio Margarete is one of the names that they use in Inglourious Bastards to sneak in. That's right, Crocus song. Well done. You own a copy of Duck You Sucker? Holy shit. I love you guys. I have the greatest audience ever. I'm just saying. You guys are fucking amazing. This is just crazy. So, let's see. And he directed under the name Anthony Dawson. So, I guess it was also called Cyberific, Virtual Weapon, with Terrence Hill, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, holy shit, and Giselle Blondet. Hagler was in a movie directed by Antonio Margarete, written by Bruno Carbucci, Ferdy Pacheco, who wrote it as well, and Jess Hill, who helped us with the dialogue for this thing. That's crazy. Anyways, so there you go. That's a little bit of Antonio Margarete. Directed Your Hunter from the Future, which is pretty terrible. And I would play it for you, but I will get a copyright strike. And we all have this dude's weird Botox filler choices to thank, allegedly, for this. And since he knows where to get the filler and the Botox from. It obviously moved Steve Bannon to, because if you'll notice anything right here? You can tell Steve Bannon's wearing makeup because his weird splotch is gone. Like, that is a lot of fucking bass. That's more bass than Groove Is in the Heart. That's got more bass than the opening of a Tool song. Riff Tracks version is on Tubi. You got it. Okay. Hal Sparks Movie Watch a Long Night. We're going to do it at some point. I'm going to do one of these, like, on Twitch. I've got to do one of these watch parties. We'll do it at some point if you have for the Amazon Prime crowd. Anyways, I got to go. Spit and fire tonight. That's right. You guys are wonderful. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Again, tomorrow I'm on seemingly all fucking day. I'm on in the morning. Then in the afternoon, I will be filling in for Joan Esposito, which will be noon to 3 my time. And then I will go straight into my afternoon show. And then I'm going to be calling into Liberal Dan at 6:30 tomorrow. So if I'm able to speak on Thursday, it will be a goddamn miracle. But you will have plenty of me tomorrow. So I don't know why I stayed late tonight, except that I love you. I love you guys. I said it, and I feel better for having said it. And thank you guys for all the support and all those who super chatted. And Lizzie, thank you so much. And Eric, again, thanks. Holy shit. And don't forget on your way out the door to give a thumbs up. 1,000 likes today. Nice. All I got to talk about is Antonio Margarete. Thank you, Carrie, for the super chat. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. You can do it. Just subscribe. Come on. And then I'll be on all day tomorrow. Think of it as a subathon. And I'll be promoting the Sexy Liberal show that's coming up in a few weeks in New York, or sorry, in DC and in Chicago. Whew. All right. Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. I love you. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.